Okay, number 6, we've got a slope of -2. We've got this point 3t, 2t. They give us the information. They tell us that A is an x-intercept. That means y equals 0. They tell us that B is a y-intercept. That means x equals 0 at that point. They want us to find the area of a triangle. What they really don't tell us is that O is the origin, and the triangle is made from the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the origin. Now, we've got y equals mx plus b. That's our linear equation. And we can plug in the point they gave us, even though it's not a complete point, and the slope that we gave, and we can find out that the y-intercept is going to be 8t. So that gives me the equation of y equals -2x plus 8t. Now, once I have that to find the x-intercept, all I got to do is make y equals 0. And when I add 2x to both sides, I'll find out that x is equal to 4t. Now, I've got my x-intercept and my y-intercept. Basically, it kind of looks like this on a graph. 8t, that's going to be up here somewhere. And then, if you will, it'll be 0, 8t. And then about halfway as far, there'll be this point 4t. And it'll go here on the x-axis, 4t, 0. And you see this triangle we've made with the origin. That's what they want us to find the area of. The area for a triangle is equal to 1/2 base times height. So all I've got to do is 1/2 times 4t times 8t. And that's going to give me 16t squared. And then that's the area of the triangle. Now in part B, it says we've got this point P. Well, we already know that is 3t, 2t. We don't know exactly where it is. And we know that it creates a line that's perpendicular and to AB, and it's going to go to the x-axis at C. Well, our job is to find out what that point is at C. So then we've got to find the midpoint and then prove that it's on the y equals x line. So let's go one step at a time. We know that the original line, AB, has a slope of -2. So our perpendicular line must have a slope of 1/2. And once again, we know that our point 3t, 2t is on this perpendicular line. So if I substitute this point into our equation, we get the value of b being equal to 1/2 t. Now, once I know that, I can write the equation of the line. Our equation is going to go through the x-axis. And so we've got to find out what that x-intercept is. So when we write our equation y equals 1/2 x plus 1/2 t, all we've got to do is make y equal to 0. And then we've got 1/2 x plus 1/2 t. We just got to get x by itself. So we'll subtract the 1/2 x. And when we have 1/2 x, or I'm sorry, -1/2 x on the one side, it's going to equal 1/2 t. And then all we've got to do is divide both sides by -1/2. And then we're going to find out that x is equal to -t. So there's our x-intercept. It's -t, 0. We can go ahead and write that as a point. We can go ahead and write our other point, P, which is 3t, 2t. And these are the 2 points we've got to find the midpoint of. So if we add 3t and -t, we're going to get 2t, and then we divide that by 2 to get our x-coordinate of the midpoint. And then we take 2t plus 0 and divide that. Well, in both cases, you'll notice it's a 2t. So 2t divided by 2 is t. So our point, our midpoint, is tt. And what they want us to show is that this midpoint lies on the y equals x line. Well, any point on the y equals x line, the x value is going to equal the y value. So even though we don't know what value t is, obviously whatever it is, it's going to be the same for both the x and the y. And so that's all we've got to do to prove it. So that's all we got for this one. Thanks for watching.